All right. Meanwhile, let's talk about two government agencies, NPR and National Public Radio, and PBS. They're going to be in the hot seat later today because DOGE is taking a look at the close to $500 million of taxpayer funds that goes to public media in the form of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This is something that Republicans for decades have tried to do. Why do we spend so much money on NPR and PBS, which are clearly biased, Republicans say? And in fact, Donald Trump picked up the banner yesterday and wanted to make very clear he would like to see them defunded.
I would love to do that. I think it's very unfair. It's been very biased for the whole group. I mean, a whole group of them. And frankly, there's plenty of, look at all the media you have right now. There's plenty of coverage. I was from a different age, and they spend more money than any other network of its type ever conceived. So the kind of money that's being wasted, and it's a very biased view, you know that better than anybody. And I'd be honored to see it end. We're well covered. Look at all the people that we have here today. We're well covered, and we don't need it. And it's a waste of money, especially. I don't even know what DOGE's recommendation is. I assume their recommendation is to close them up.
All I can tell you is they have the biggest collection of stations in the country. Sometimes in the market, they'll have 4 stations in the same market. And that, you know, the most is Odyssey is second, I think, or iHeart with maybe you're allowed 2 in the same market. Why do we need 4 stations broadcasting PBS for free? Why are they the #1 vendor? Why are they the #1 place for people to go and listen on radio? What's left of radio, terrestrial radio. So I think there's some legitimate issues here, along with the content. Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, think about it. You know, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting goes back either into the 60s or the 70s. And that was at a time when there were just 3 channels. And, you know, there were just a lot of AM radio stations and stuff like that. But now, through the free market and the proliferation of other sources, there are so many other venues, and the question becomes for the government and for all of us, because it's our money, is can you get that kind of programming someplace else for free? And ultimately, if it currently is viewer-supported, listener-supported, which it is, will then they be able to, if they cut it from the federal government, will they be able to sustain? And, you know, if they've got great viewers and listeners, they'll probably be able to do more with less. They just have to.
Of course, just like the post office. We should not be doing the post office the 6 days a week, or sometimes they do on Sundays. It doesn't pay. So we have to look at things, not with just, hold on, we're not trying to blow things up, but we have to start being smarter and look at the calendar and say, how do we improve? The private sector constantly improves because there's a free market. Why is the government sustaining these dead-end situations?
I think you can definitely chalk this up as another win for DOGE, and it continues to get a lot of support from the American people. And I believe that Elon Musk is on with Brett tonight. So
yep, it's going to be
awesome.
Great.
Big interview. All right.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.